Hey guys, ow, this really hurts. Yeah, so Christmas is 2 days away, and found the Santa hat downstairs that my mom bought, even though we have 10,000 other ones. It's really soft. It feels like my cat. So besides the fact that it's almost Christmas, and this book talk that I'm about to do also has to do with a Christmassy type thing, so thought I might as well wear a Santa hat. Although this one is kind of small, so it doesn't really fit on my abnormally large head. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes. The book I am talking about today is Dash and Lily's Book of Dares by Rachel Cohn and David Levithan. Is it Levithan? I think it is. I don't know. They've wrote several books together. One of them is Nignor's Infinite Playlist, as well as Naomi and Eli's No Kiss List. They wrote this book, and then I know David Levithan has like a whole bunch of other books out, and like everybody loves him and says he's like an amazing author, although I haven't read anything from him until I read this book. But yeah, so for those of you who don't know and can't get an idea from the title of this book, this story takes place in New York City around Christmas time. It starts a few days before Christmas, ends on New Year's Day. And it has to do with a boy named Dash and a girl named Lily, and they both enjoyed this place, this amazing, wonderful place called The Strand that actually exists. It is a bookstore, and I want to go so bad. And anyways, so while Dash is perusing the shelves of The Strand, he finds this red moleskin notebook stuck between some of the books. It has some dares, and he follows through, which ends up leading him to Lily, which is actually the owner of the notebook. And so they trade dares and stories all across New York City as they're trying to find the book for each other. And it's a really cute story, and yeah, that's the basis for it. Now I'm going to get into the spoilery section. Anyways, this book I thought was going to be a really cute little holiday read, and it was. I'm not going to lie, it was cute, and it gave me, that warm fuzzy feeling inside you feel when you read like a really cute little contemporary, and you're like, oh my gosh, they got together. Ugh, yes, that's all I wanted. Yeah, I mean, it's a YA contemporary novel, of course. Why would they? Romantic novel. Why would they not get together in the end? Although I was a bit disappointed with this book. I hadn't heard much about it. All I heard from other people was that it was a really cute read and it was really good and everybody loves it. Me, I'm not so in love with it. I think it was a really good idea, not very well played out. I don't feel like, because it was in such a short span of time, that this notebook exchange was happening, and I don't feel like the characters were really that thought out as they should have been. Like, I was reading, and the book starts off from Dash's point of view, and as I was reading it, like, he doesn't give off his age right away, I thought he was like early 20s. I thought he was like early 20s. For some reason I thought he was British. I don't know why, but I think I have this thing for guys that are British. I don't know why. I'm at a loss here. I thought he was British. I don't know why. But he sounds older. I mean, and I understand that he reads a lot and he wants a freaking dictionary is like one of the things he wants the most. And he's more intelligent than other people. I get that, but still, he doesn't sound like he's 16. Like, I don't know, I just couldn't see him as like 16 after, like, he talked about being 16. I couldn't see him as 16. I always thought if he was like 20. And then when you get to Lily's point of view and she starts talking, she doesn't sound like a 16-year-old either. She sounds like a little 12-year-old, to be honest. I thought she was 12. Besides just the way she, like, talks and thinks about everything, like, she thinks that everything is still, like, gonna be perfect and happy for everybody, when really it doesn't work out that way, and everything's not as it seems, as you think it is. And I mean, she dresses like a 12-year-old, and I kind of, she just really annoyed me. Like, she really annoyed me. I'm like, at 16, my lord, you are 16-year-olds. Stop doing this shrilly thing. Like, you should learn to be able to control yourself by the age of 16. I mean, I understand we all have our moments, but you should be able to, like, control yourself to where you're not, like, screaming and throwing a fit because something happened. And you should, like, I don't know, dress like actual people. Like, I don't know. Why are you wearing majorette boots? I have drill team boots. And I don't wear those every day because they look weird. Like, no, stop. And she just really annoyed me. I think part of the reason they wrote her that way was because, you know, she's been under this protective shell of her family her whole life, so she hasn't really gotten out to experience the world. But still, like, you gotta grow up at some point and stop with the 12-year-oldness. Besides the fact that I thought Dash was older than he was and Lily was younger than she was, and that's just weird, I did get over that towards the end of the book, because by then you're just like, kiss already and get together, because you two, like, even though you're kind of like complete opposites, like, you totally go together and you'd be absolutely adorable. So go ahead and get together, because you obviously need each other. Like, you need each other to balance each other out. Like, it works so well. But other than that, like, the way this entire book is like set around something that happens in a bookstore makes me so happy. And just the thought of like it being set in the Strand, which I want to go to so bad, like, that is like one of the top places I want to travel to, is go to the Strand. I know that's weird, but you know, I'm a book nerd and I like bookstores and I want to go to the Strand, and I'm sorry. And this book just made me love it even more and want to go even more, and I just want to go. And I'm actually going to New York in March or May. It's some month with an M, I know that. But I'm going with my dance team, because that is our little trip for the year. And I am super excited because I've never been to New York and I really want to go. And so while we're in New York, I want to go to the Strand, and I'm going to go to the Strand. And I'm super excited. And though now this book has probably set me up for false hopes that when I do go to the Strand, I'll be looking for a notebook of some sort strewn between the books on the shelves, hoping to have my own romantic exchange in a notebook, and it's not going to happen because I'm forever alone and I scare guys away. But it's okay, because I have fictional characters to keep me company. This story did not strike me as anything amazing and like completely unique from anything else I've read or heard about. Like, you know, I mean, besides the fact that it's like a book they're transferring back and forth, like, it was nothing like special or unique. I mean, it was a cute little Christmas read. But I did find some things in this story I really did like. And one is when Sophia and Dash have met up again for the first time since she moved. And they're talking about how their past relationship didn't work and all this other stuff. And how their relationship never could have worked out no matter what. And how it wasn't really like a relationship. I mean, it was, but it wasn't at the same time. Like, whatever. Sophia tells Dash that he thinks he's finally found the girl in his head, and he's like, what do you mean girl in my head? And then she goes on to explain, I mean, like most guys, you carry around this girl in your head who's exactly who you want her to be, the person you think you will love the most, and every girl you are with gets measured against the girl in your head. So this girl with the red notebook, it makes sense. If you never meet her, she never has to get measured. She can be the girl in your head. What Sophia says strikes me as so true, because even though, I mean, it's talking about guys, girls have this guy in their head too. We all have this vision of the person we want to be with in the end. Like, it's our perfect person, you know. Like, mine is, he has some tattoos. He can pull it off. Maybe a facial piercing or two. He is tall. He's funny. He wears skinny jeans. He likes the music I like. He likes to read. He wears hipster glasses. He wears beanies. That's the perfect guy. He's funny. That's just a snippet of what I want in a guy. I mean, of course I'm not going to all get that. But everybody has their own measure of the person, someone they want to be with. And they all have it set up in their head. So when you end up dating someone, you are measuring them to who you want. Like, the perfect person for you. You always measure the person you're with to that person you want them to be. And so you're always contrasting what you want. Like, is this okay? Am I willing to sacrifice this for this? This person has this, and not what I want. But it's just, that's how people talk themselves out of good things, like good relationships, because it's not exactly what you want, but maybe, on the other hand, it's probably what you need. So you can't always be like comparing the person in your head to the actual person you want to be with, because that person in your head doesn't exist. and most likely you'll never find the person in your head. I mean, you can find somebody close to it, but they're not going to be exactly how you want them to be. So we set ourselves up for unrealistic expectations of people we want. And it's sad. And part of this is society's fault, because society tells us we have to, we have to look like Victoria's Secret models. We have to be smart. We have to be tall. We have to be pretty. We have to wear makeup. We have to exercise. We have to lose weight. We have to wear skin-tight clothing. Guys have to be muscly. Guys have to have abs. Guys have to look cute. We have to be athletic. Society has set us up for these stupid standards that we base our perfect person off of, which does not exist. Because I'm telling you, most people don't look like that. Like, most guys do not look like a freaking Abercrombie model with the washboard abs and the pretty hair and the drop-dead gorgeous, strong facial features. Most girls walking around do not look like freaking Victoria's Secret models. Most girls don't wear makeup. It's sad that society has brought us down to this, that we all have to look exactly perfect and nobody can have flaws. When in reality, everybody has flaws, and you can't really change that. Anyways, sorry about the rant about society. I just fucking hate this. I hate the way the world has become, because we are so obsessed with all being perfect and looking amazing and all this stuff. No. And so in the end of the book, when Dash and Lily are finally stopping the notebook, one of them writes this quote in the end of the notebook, and it reads, "We are reading the stories of our lives as though we were in it, as though we had written it." And this is by Mark Strand, and Mark Strand is a poet, I think. I googled him, I don't really remember. I believe he's a poet. But I really love this quote, and it's actually now made it onto one of my favorite quote lists, because I just like quotes. But it really does speak to people who have such a love for reading, and that's all they want to do with their spare time is just sit down and read a really good book and get lost in another world. That speaks to me. It's exactly what reading is to me, at least. I don't know about anybody else, but that's what reading is to me. It's you pick up a book, whether it's written in the third person or first person, you become that character. You feel like you are implanted into this story. You are a part of this story. You know all of these characters. You grow attached to these characters. These characters are your friends. And you just love them all. And so it's sad when the book ends, because you feel like your life ends. Your story ends. And you no longer get to see these characters anymore, because you don't know what happens next, because it's over. And just reading, I've said, it feels like you're part of the story. You feel like you're part of that story. You know what's happening. You know what's going to happen next. You feel like you're stuck in the same situation with these characters, and you don't know what's coming next, although you still see you have 100 pages left in a story, so you know something's going to happen. But right then, it feels like the end of the world. You feel like the book is going to end, and all the characters are going to die right there. And everything's just going to go to complete shit. And it's not, because you still have some time left before the book's over. But you feel like it's your story too. You wrote this. I mean, not actually wrote it, but you wrote it because you were there. You were part of this when this was all going on. I don't know how to explain it. I love it because I just love reading. And I love being able to escape to a new place every time I open up a book and live another life and take a break from my reality, which can never be as adventurous and exciting as the ones I open up and live in a book. I feel like this whole section I just talked about that quote made no sense. But, oh well. Anyways, overall, I thought it was a decent read. Not loving it. Not oh my gosh, this is adorable. I want to read it over and over again. It was okay. Maybe I'll read it once a year around Christmas time. But again, there was nothing spectacular about it. I really hope I'm not the only one that thought this, because I looked on Goodreads. Freaking everybody and their dog is in love with this story, and I don't want to be that one person that everybody hates, because my opinion is different. Because I felt that same way when I read The Night Circus, because I was the only one that didn't like it. So that is it. I will see you guys next time with a book talk, Top 5 Wednesday, or a tag video. Until then, I'm Chrissy. Goodbye and Merry Christmas.